Hail and well met, 'tis I, Bard, they, them, and she, her, welcoming you once again to the mad realm. And in today's tale of mortality, I shall tell you about rifts and the realms, as well as those dwelling within, the immortals and the rifted. So please, gather around the fire, and let me tell you how whence and after the aeon began, there were the rifts. The ascended are mortals who have achieved immortality through deeds and belief. Every culture boasts of their ascended with fervent praise. In life, ascended were powerful, revered mortals, possessed of a soul wrought to dominate. Their influence shaped their world around them for all. Like a prayer, the names of the ascended were spoken. Nations were founded and destroyed by their hands. Upon their death, the ascended were worshipped like gods. And now, through the fanaticism of their living cultists, the dead became imbued with immortal power beyond that which any living vessel could contain. Ascended mortals possess the same powers as gods, with as much hunger as the powers that be. With a mortal's heart, their desires are wanton, their machinations without singularity. More than immortals, ascended shall walk upon the mortal realm and act. At the head of armies shall they be found, slaughtering foes by the score, and giving wisdom for a simple price. But as mortals want to do, ascended come and go freely. With nigh infinite strength, ascended stay in their realms, granting powers and reveling in the power to have any legendary whim fulfilled. When their infinite pleasures bore deep a hollowness only a mortal can feel, an ascended shall return to the mortal realm to sup the simplicity they left behind. Ascended are as varied in personality and aspect as other humans. The quest to ascend has driven countless mortals mad. Not all who seek ascension succeed. The lost and the damned shades who sought apotheosis wander the immortal realms filled with anger until their name is invoked to spread ruin in the form of unstoppable undead. Only powerful venturers have been able to slay these failures at great cost and with the help of non-mortals. Cursed with the knowledge no immortal realm shall take their souls, and the mortal realm recoils at their presence. The damned lost all sense of themselves except the ambitions they held. Invariably, the quest fails, destroying anything they create. Furthermore, the many who do ascend after death, but did not want to, are quite paragon. Unlike other immortals, there is only one ascended of the same name, and no derivations or adjacent spawn may emerge from the aether. An ascended of war may directly smite a warrior who invoked their name dishonorably, even if the mortal believed their patron would have done the same. There is no interpretation to an ascended, only respect or disrespect to them as in life. Ascended are not omnipotent or omnipresent either, unlike some deities. To call the attention of an ascended, one must call them by their name. The ambivalence of many gods, content on fattening upon offerings, is not within an ascended's purview. The more sacrifices they are offered, the more they shall ordain the believer. Even when their peoples fade into forgotten lore, and the immortals they worshipped in life die, ascended remain, broken and beleaguered, to wander realms akin to powerful rifted. Now, please, hearken to these words by a venturer that has been and was, one whom has loved and been loved, one whom has lost and is lost. one whom lived and whom died. The ascended are pedagons of mortality. To ascend is to show the will of mortals to defy death, and the immortals who lord over humanity. We may all ascend to claim our destinies as masters of the realm. We are mortals, born of a mortal will, doomed to die, but may live forever in song and memory. Ascenscia's gaping wounds, rifts, are the bleeding scars between the mortal realm and either an immortal realm or the arcane realm. Magical energy pulses from the core of every rift, like a heart, the many coiling crags of the wound, the weeping veins, stretching for miles in any direction. The reason why the rifting occurred is not truly known, though every culture has had an explanation which no god or ancient elder will grant insight to. In every domain humans have laid claim to, rifts can be found in the farthest hinterlands. All mortals fear rifts. They are gouged gateways into the countries the living were never meant to enter. The natural laws are warped to every extreme imaginable. Time, space, and elements act according to the immortal or ancient elder ruling the scar. No rift, even of the same aspect, is the same. Mortals may walk freely in and out, or face excruciating ruin upon being within the presence of the rift. Perceiving a rift shatters the witness, inviting the suckers of the supernatural to bore away stable rationality. Great care and study for months, if not years, is conducted on rifts prior to entry for the most minuscule preparation of the flesh and soul. Artifacts, charms, relics, and sacred adornments are placed upon any entree during rites of protection from every mortal who shall listen and offer aid. There are only 4 stable rifts on Ascenscia, whose power is so mighty, these elemental tears compose the world. The realm under, a vast network of caverns and tunnels, whose skin is the surface world and is inhabited by strange reflections of the world. So too are mountains' roots located in the realm below. The realm above, the Sky Rift, fills the world with its air and the eternal skies. The burning veins, also known as the Heartfire Rift, are a series of rifts connected at the core of the planet. Their burning tendrils flail like writhing serpents under the buckling dermis of the world. Their closeness to the surface dictates whether the land is barren and hot, or frozen and dead. And the Oceanus Rift is the last of the stable rifts. It is the world's seas and oceans. To its furthest north is the Ice Rift, a gouge that leads one to the wintry realms. The harmonious battles between these rifts sway the planet as a sculptor does clay. Approaching a rift, one feels a change in the air, a heaviness that crushes the body and numbs the soul. The sky above churns with magical energy, guiding onlookers to the nexus of power. The closer one gets, the more the force of the rift bears upon them, and the more potential for mutation and or obliteration becomes greater. Whispers from inhuman voices carry on the wind, trying to tempt mortals to an unwoven fate. Magic itself manifests in unpredictable ways too. Immortals claw their way from whatever realm they dwelt in to corrupt even more earth, spreading the rift even further. For these reasons, many maps and signs mark the exact location of known rifts. Armies and venturing companies alike have assailed these wounds for millennia to try and close them. Such hosts are vast arrays of warriors from all nations and peoples. War machines and beasts of all sorts, brought at great expense, trudge alongside the thousands mustered and blessed by priests shouting until their gullets are red from strain. The clash of arms that follows is beyond any natural sight. Mutated things, cultists, and foul spirits hack apart warriors by the score, while those same broken masses plunge every weapon they can into the bellies of the same bellowing horrors. Over the centuries, very few rifts have been closed, but once they are sewn shut, the ties to whatever realm it bled from are severed entirely. The magics which twist nature dissipate within moments of the collapse, as do all things fueled by the rift. Sorcerers who drew power have their souls rent from their flesh, leaving behind gruesome viscera too. Cults and aristocrats will erect fortifications to prevent rivals from doing such. Yet a rift does not bow to the whims of mortals, and its worshippers may face terrible powers at any moment. Some say rifts themselves are not tears in reality at all, but nascent gods waiting to emerge from the womb of the world. Now please hearken to this, a word from a venturer who has come and gone, loved and been loved, lost and is lost. Beyond the mortal realm are realms of chaos, magic, grandeur, and horror. Beyond what the flesh can tread upon are the gods who hunger for our souls and sacrifices. I dare not tread in the same direction as Rift, for there is an allure which all humans desire, power and knowledge. Only in humble ignorance can we remember who we are. We are mortals, born of flesh and blood, who shall die by age or steel or claw. Do not look into the rifts, for the rifts shadow the eyes of things that never stop watching. Never stop watching. And on the topic of rifts, those things that dwell within, the gods, immortals, and their sires, those descendants that may dwell within a rift or may walk the mortal realms, the rifted, I shall tell you of now. For from the days when the void was all came the immortals, the gods and spirits of the world. It is they who shaped it from chaos by slaying the ancient elders and who created mortals. Immortals are the divine powers that be. They are as multitude as the peoples who worship them, with as many names as there are tongues to speak. In all things do immortals reside, for they are the world and the world is them. Gods on Ascenscia are multifaceted supernatural entities that all stem from quintessence. Each one is like a human amplified in extrema, for they are, in deep occult truth, the culmination of mortal emotions and deeds. There is an immortal for every motion, concept, action, item, and place mortals have ever experienced. Gods are formulated from the collective and individual thought of humanity, thus making every interpretation and story true. A god of war in one culture may be seen as a being of murder and crime, yet still be a god of grain in the clouds, for they are one and the same. However, the immortals are not ones to show themselves often. The same god of war, murder, and crime, who is also of grain and the clouds, shall give power to both believers, for there is no favoritism, only hunger. If one sect destroys another, then so be it. If the destroyed sect called upon their god to smite the other, then so be it too. Immortals revel and feast on offerings and worship. Immortals are parasites that cut into the soul of mortals at the feasting table, always fighting for the greatest share of devoted souls. Even the kindest spirits do not give their gifts freely. Sacrifices and devotions given up during rituals or holy days merely placate the indignant jealousies stirring in the heart of every mortal. Failure to do so is met with unfortunate twists of fate. Zealots shout for more sacrifices to prevent the gods from destroying the world with more riftings, for it is their belief that the world became as it was, and cries out in agony because of the lack of religious fidelity. At every moment must one god or another be recognized. Ascensians are thus highly religious and highly aware of divine influences, antagonistic or not. To give oneself to a god is common, but to not give to the gods at all means only one end: gruesome retribution. Through oracles and holy peoples, the Immortals speak most directly about what they want. Like a plague, the infectious fervor of faith spreads with each chant as the gods demand. A holy war is not one driven by politics as other conflicts are, but are decadent masses of mortal and immortal riding towards conquest. Occultists look out for omens wherever they go to. Dangling from every building, person, post, and holy site are many sigils and relics. Adventurers who specialize in the occult are resplendent with holy symbols, markings, and artifacts carried by attendants droning on in the words of gods, dead and living. In the wilds where the gods may not dwell, the protection of belief, coalescing as divine intervention, is as useful as a shield. Immortals are most commonly found in the blood of their children or the births warped by rift. When a god couples with a mortal, or a pregnant person is around so much magic it latches onto the soul and flesh of the growing fetus, the resulting child is a rifted. Rifted may be any human species around the world. The arrival of a rifted is heralded by a divine sight, followed by a miraculous birth, which leaves the world heavy and still. All rifted possess a single mutation from birth denoting their divine heritage. Unlike other mutations, this manifestation grows as the baby grows. A rifted always appears to be a normal newborn, but gradually changes as they age. Horns may sprout from their head, or cloven hooves may replace their feet, while some merely have differently colored eyes, or a voice like that of thunder. To be around a rifted is to feel an immortal presence. For this reason, many are worshipped as living deities or hunted down as the bastard of a devil from the moment they're born, and especially after they're seen to change. Destiny often has grand plans for them, but it is the will of their mortal parentage that decides what they do. Only two rifted, the returned and the scarred, are not related to immortals. The returned are the risen dead given spiritual purpose. Unlike other walking dead, they possess their souls to measure, and do not lose themselves to the rot that consumes many. Scarred are births that occur during one of the 19 days of the 13th month. They are not born from ancient elders and mortals, but are lashed by the mutative properties of the twilight, and born with intense madness. Now please listen, my friends, to this word of adventurer whom has come and gone, loved and been loved, lost and is lost. I have seen the immortals who guise themselves as mortals. They walk among us to cast judgment. Be wary of the person who bears the mutated stigmata of their sire. By blade or praise must they be reckoned with. The gods walk among us as they do above and below. Give and take from them as they do you, and you shall know their madness. Hail and well met, 'tis I Bard, they, them, and she, her, thanking you all for listening to this episode of Tales of Mortality, a podcast that is written and owned by me, Bard, surrounding a world, Ascenscia, that is created by me, Bard, and that I've been working on for like 18 years now. Everything in this podcast is owned by me. Ascenscia is owned by me. The art
is created and owned by me, that sort of thing. If you like this episode, please do the YouTube things like comment, subscribe, share, do all of that. And of course, if you'd like to see my art and to see things related to Ascenscia that are going to be popping up soon, please follow me over on Instagram at Bard of the Mad Realm. There I post a bunch of miniature painting stuff, as well as soon a bunch of art related to Ascenscia as I begin to go forth and work through this podcast and create stuff for the role-playing game I've been developing for this. So thank you all for listening. I hope you have a glorious day, and remember, may chaos reign. Bye-bye!